Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the D2CL and our final game of the night, where Navi is going up against HellRaisers. Navi yet to claim any kind of victory tonight, not playing any kind of really solid, coordinated Dota, and finding themselves caught out of position a lot of times. I'm trying to be positive about it, but at the same time, Navi loses, Toby cries. Isn't that meant to be the phrase? That's meant to be the saying. For me, I'm actually a massive fan of HellRaisers. If I'm gonna get slightly aroused by Dota tonight, it's because of these guys. They are playing some really quality Dota. They've also been committing themselves pretty heavily, but the Storm Spirit play from Natus has been wonderful. We're not going to see that again this game because they've already picked up the SF, and that's his hero. But everything from HellRaisers was just nice. They're moving across the map nicely. They were able to find the openings. Yeah, we ended up getting ourselves in a little bit of into a crazy skirmish this evening, but that's fine. I'm still okay with that. I expect that kind of Dota coming out from the teams we had tonight. Empire, Navi, HellRaisers. I expect that kind of stuff. But at the same time, normally that would also entail really great coordinated gameplay. That's what we search for out of CIS every time. And it just hasn't really been happening. So, bit of a shame, but I'm hoping for something better this game as we're going to go into our draft already. Shadow Fiend and Chen will be the selections up by HellRaisers. So again, going to go with that Chen. His Tornado really screwed around, or at least, so actually, no, that's game number 1, Team Empire Tornado. Screwed around with Dandy greatly. Expect the same thing to happen in this game. The Shadow Fiend pickup, always a good solo mid, great flash farmer, same old. Batrider for the off lane, a good jump and initiator, and HellRaisers don't have the great counter to it because the Vengeful Spirit was picked up second here by Dandy, so it's a little bit more solid on the first 2 pickups this time around as opposed to just getting the Wisp pickup and going, what do I combine it with? The Lena's going to be banned out by HellRaisers. Denny tried that one already tonight. The Lena up against the Shadow Fiend in the mid. Anything which has really good burst damage up against an SF is a great choice to go with. The Troll, the Juggernaut being banned out by Denny, so HellRaisers will be denied the Juggernaut. The Axe also finding its way into that ban pool. Ever since the changes on him, he's moved slowly down the ban pool. Initially, he was still being picked up and them teams were not as content with the Axe pick. And then he filtered into the first ban stage. Then he went into the second ban stage, and it was like, yeah, we'll still put him there. He's still an okay hero. He still can bring something. And you take out the other offlaner too. So the Bristleback being removed. Havorst knows how powerful that thing is. He was playing on it before. At the same time, he knows also there are ways to get around the Bristleback and kill him off. The Lion was the last one out by HellRaisers. It'll be the last good jump in here to combine with the Vengeful Spirit. It was also the support combination that Navi ran in game number 1 up against Team Empire. So, removing it out, just too much control. Between the Batrider, the VS, and the Lion, it's everything your heart really doth desire. Sniper and Wisp first bans, by the way, are very standard kind of thing. Especially up against Navi, who've been running that Wisp. The one thing is, for Navi, is the fact they haven't picked up the mag, which is something which Dandy has kind of gone with almost every draft he can in the second phase, sometimes even in the first phase. I don't know if he's still prioritizing it that much, if he should be looking to play something else up against this Shadow Fiend. With the Skywrath Mage now coming out from HellRaisers, they can have some fun control, but it's not that counter still to the Batrider. That's why I'm a little interested to see if we're going to see something like a Clockwork or someone that can chase from HellRaisers. They can stop the Batrider from just dragging everybody away. Chen's obviously got his sandbag, but you don't want to be using that to save someone when they get pulled out by the Batrider, because that's going to send them all the way back to base. It doesn't give you a chance to initiate and make the most out of the time when the Batrider's last two is down. So you want to try and find someone. That's why when the Wisp would do a relocate, you'd only pull him back just far enough to sever the tether, but still close enough that you can jump in. So that's what I'm searching for. Alright, Navi. 4th pickup. We are looking for a core, unless you can run the ES as a core, but I think those days have sort of moved past us. Well, what else would you really want to run? Something up against the SF? I don't think you should worry about that right now. Look at your core. Your number 1. That one guy is going to be trying to actually push down buildings force HellRaisers to rotate for Navi's purposes, and then let the Batrider get the jump initiation so you got burst damage to follow up. That's what I would look for, at least. But you're not going to be playing into something like a Luna. You don't want to get anywhere near that close to the SF to dish out damage. I think of the Luna because the way NIP played it last night, but that also probably not the greatest example of a game where Luna is a good hero. You could try someone like a Drow Ranger, because HellRaisers don't have any... Actually, yeah, that could work. If you get the Drow Ranger, and then you get someone like a Viper into the mid, Earthshaker VS support, do some pulling, do some rotation, that'll work nicely. Everyone gets a little bit of extra bonuses. You got a nice little aura stack. Yeah, I'm liking that more and more now. The danger would still be if HellRaisers get a Clockwork as the next one. I should go a Tinker pickup.
Dire team pick.
Tinker, mediocre as far as successfulness goes. It's one of these heroes that, if I'm now thinking actually Clockwork has to be 100% pickup here by HellRaisers. Unless they run the SF as a safe lane, you get the Storm pickup. Clockwork's not banned. My eyes are not deceiving me. The Clockwork is definitely not banned. So Clockwork and Storm, one of these two heroes has to be picked up now. They have to catch out the Tinker. If Tinker is allowed to split push, then you will probably lose this game, because the Chen army can't push up high. The Skywrath Mage isn't a great hero to catch him out. The Shadow Fiend is not a hero, like maybe a Blink Dagger Yule Scepter, you get close to Tinker, but you can't keep following him. But with the Clockwork, you can at least have the Rocket for vision, and between the SF and the Clockwork, you should be able to catch the Tinker, kill him off, and then there's your big opening. Because the Batrider's not going to be dishing any damage, he's a control factor. Which then also means that this last player, this last hero to be picked up by Identity, needs to have some really good physical DPS. It's an Nanimage being banned out, so more than likely Medusa, yep, there it is, to be taken out by HellRaisers. It's just an obvious kind of thing. When you pick up an Animage, someone's going to be burning the mana. You want a range hero that can give you some late game potential, give you some good team fight control, and just give you solid damage throughout the fight. And Medusa would have been exactly that. Something which Skywrath Mage couldn't kill off. I know Team Empire actually played a round up against Medusas, and they used both the SK as well as a Skywrath Mage to roam around and get these kills. So you Burrow Strike in, you Mystic Flare, you channels to the Epicenter, and with Concussive Shot then coming in a little bit later, you can't run away in time. I guess she gets a Slark for a Vorst, I'm assuming. Yeah, it's a Vorst. It's a Vorst who's playing the Slark. But you're going to put a Slark up against a Shadow Fiend. And Skywrath Mage is on the field. Depending on the timing of this, Slark could do wonders. But at the same time, it's a melee hero that can initiate on a Clockwork. Maybe you want to get the Skywrath Mage down there to help out the clock. Leave the Chen on the top lane, and then what? It's an... Yeah, no, that gets messy. You could pick someone up like... You could try Lone Druid up against the Batrider. That way the bear can just keep on harassing the Batrider back out again. It's not going to be an instant thing, but it allows you to force down buildings and gives you some pushing power, which HellRaisers is greatly lacking at the moment. But at the same time... Yeah, no, yeah. I'm actually liking the Lone Druid pickup more than I'm liking anything else at the moment. But I don't remember the last time HellRaisers played a Lone Druid. Like, at all. And I did do a little bit of a background check for the past 1 month.
Storm Spirit.
There goes your Storm Spirit. So they actually take both heroes I was talking about before. The Storm and the Clockwork. Artis will take up the Storm Spirit in this game. So Afro gets to take up the Shadow Fiend. They'll send him towards the safe lane. And push Artis up against Dendy's Tinker in the mid. Because you don't want to put the SF in the middle lane up against the Tinker. The laser, even if it's only just level 1, it's enough to screw around with the SF that he has to rely on then Razors to find last hits. Where the Storm Spirit's a little bit more efficient using these static remnants. So he can find the farm that way. It's also a better way to try and get those kills, because you want to have a level 6 Storm Spirit as early as possible, so we can chase after the Tinker. And kill the Tinker before he gets these BTs up. I still find it hilarious that, like, items like this, the mech boots, the ones from TI, They really shouldn't be on the Tinker until he has BTs. It should be one of those timing cosmetics. Alright, so let's check out our lanes. Top lane, defensive ward by Dread. This is the second time I've seen HellRaisers do this tonight. They did it again on the bottom lane before. But yeah, he's going to be up on that top lane. They are in fact going to put the SF towards the mid by the looks of it. Because that's a Soul Ring recipe coming in for the Storm Spirit. So God damage the jungle is the Chen. And then SF into the mid. Off lane it will be Kingen. I'm actually not 100% certain how to say his name. Sorry, Gorik. Sorry, what am I talking about? It's Gorik. He is the final one as the Clockwork. Should never try and pronounce that last part of his name. So yeah, Gorik is the Clockwork. Fireball's to be the offlane Bat Rider. Godblack's only here for a fissure block.
The battle begins.
And he'll get himself away from this top lane almost instantly after that. He's got boots as well as one clarity, so it's all about the roaming. But Fireball's kind of semi wins this lane now, but Dread's going to see if he can do something about that. Block as hard as he possibly can. The Storm's going to come in to help him out as well. In towards the middle lane, Denny's Tinker, no surprise. Godblack back at base. Bottom lane, Horvorst is the Slark. He's lost one of his creeps, but that's also the reason why Vanscore is up here on the top lane. And he realizes it's a melee creep coming first, because the Clockwork has done the pull-in. So he's managed to stop the range creep from coming down, which means this creep wave now just pushes in. And that's just easy experience coming away the Clockwork, which is all he's really searching for. Phobos can have a horrible time on this top lane. Dread will do an easy job. He bought a very early null talisman. So with that intel, Phobos is going to lose most of his life. In fact, Phobos, be really careful with this. You've only got 3 tangos, man. That's not a lot to live with. Goldblack coming in towards the mid lane. He's got a fissure block time. Throws it out. Doesn't do the damage, though, with the stun. He only gets the block. And Denny with 1 level up in laser and 1 level up in rocket. He needs at least 1 more hit to come in from the Earthshaker. Or maybe not. I take it back. The damage from the rocket's enough. And first blood goes the way here of Na'Vi. This is where I thought it was going to happen. I honestly thought Firebolt's going to get caught out by Dread. The offlane Clockwork's managed to find 2.5 levels. And Vanscore, he doesn't want to get anywhere near this for that exact reason. He burns another Clarity right now. That's his last one, which means he's basically got 1 magic missile to throw, and then there's nothing more left. And once he really stopped, Gorik is still able to find his 3rd level. And with Battery Assault as well as Cogs, he doesn't have mana for both, but with a level 2 Battery Assault, he can kill off Vanscore, because he knows Vanscore doesn't have a magic missile. Yeah, it's a solo kill. Vanscore getting a little over-aggressive, and Gorik gets the solo kill on bottom lane. That's not joy. That's not joy at all as far as Na'Vi goes. The HellRaisers is wonderful. He's got a solo kill for a Clockwork. Horvorst can't contest his farm. And surprisingly too, Horvorst is not trying to. Let's just see his builds here. Not a single point in anything. Not leveling up a single iota. Now, you would kind of think he would look to kill off the Clockwork as early as he possibly could. Dread's a little bit of trouble with rockets. Goldblack, that's a haste stream, fissure block, and totem. Dread's dead. Then again. Everything's coming up. Turnips. Na'Vi just can't get jack. With the quick rages coming in from the Shadow Fiend, the fissure was there, but Skywrath Mage doesn't die, and he turns around and kills off the Earthshaker, who had the haste rune advantage as well. It's just... oh, man. HellRaisers, 2-1 on the board. CS is still belonging to a Vorst, but the trade-off is the fact that Clockwork is 4.5 levels, and the Bat Rider, well, he's stacking. Actually, no, he's not. He's just farming 1 set of Wild Wings, and he even got Mud Golems. Okay, that's just crap. There's a set of Alpha Wolves below that, and Phobos, careful. 1 hit from that Alpha Wolf, and he's dead. In fact, almost 1 hit from that Wild Wing, and he's dead. And he just can't find any kind of flash farm because those Mud Golems now screwing with the stack. Knowing the luck here of HR as well, Goldblack. Well, he throws the fissure. This fissure doesn't block. But knowing Gorik's luck, he'll be picking up a regeneration rune. He's just got his bottle charges as well. It doesn't even matter if it's a regeneration rune or not. He picks it up just in case. And Dread as well as Gorak can move together. I don't think that, like, with both Vanscore and Gold Black here, I still don't think they can battle the Clockwork. And in fact, Clockwork just moves into the mid. Coming with the Skywrath mate to try and catch out Dendi. He's got Boots, Bottle, and Null. Which means you're still short your Soul Ring, and you're still short, most importantly, your Boots of Travel. That's when the Tinker can finally start doing something. And Dread, with just a concussive shot, will be enough for Clockwork to get close enough. Because he's got the boost. Denny is backing up, and now Battery Assault. There's your concussive shot. He has to lock him inside the cogs here. First hit. Vanscore's going to TPM. The cogs pushing Dendi back. Lasers. He doesn't actually have enough. Actually, no, he's already thrown the rocket out. So they do actually have enough to get the kill, with the creep wave also giving the extra damage. So Clockwork will drop. You force the TP of the support in. In fact, both Gold Black as well as Vengeful Spirit arrived, but Gold Black didn't TP. And then he got a kill, so it kind of works the opposite direction of what was planned here. The plan from HellRaisers was to kill off Dendi and delay these BTs by a good 2-3 minutes. That was the goal. And that in those 2 to 3 minutes would allow the Chen to get bigger, and then they just take out the tier 1 tower, tier 2 tower on top, or tier 1 tower in mid and top. Dread, Fisher. Gold Black, he's holding it. Might not want to hold it much longer because Phobos is losing too many life points, and in comes the Storm Spirit. He's out of mana. That was one very, very long jump. The Shadow Fiend's going to find Gold Black. Raise number 1, attack number 1. Actually missed that up the hill. It's a load of mana being burnt. He's got a regen rune. So this SF's not really too concerned. I'm surprised the SF's just not walking up to Denny and trying to beat the living crap out of him. Do as much damage as possible. That's 23 souls worth of damage at your disposal. He's going to go back to full life anyway because of the regeneration rune. He's going to trigger it because he's out of mana. So, hey, yeah, that's fine. Navorse keeps his farming going on the bottom lane. For the little he's done up against the Clockwork, I kind of feel Navorse needs to almost go into a Blink Dagger here and not just go for, like, the greedy Midas carry kind of build. But he's moving over, which means this is Treads. So he is going to try and fight early on, but not in the manner I thought he was going to, which is that jump in Initiator. He went 3 points up in Dark Pack, so his burst damage isn't too bad. Dread again. This time it's over on Gold Black, and look at Clockwork. Making a beeline for it. Battery Assault. He still hasn't started up just yet. Didn't get the cogs off in time either, but Vanscore, they can see him coming in through the rear. So defensive cogs into the Battery Assault. Gold Black doesn't have the fissure to provide. And Navorse has moved in, but so is the Chen, bringing in the full army. With the DD rune, they got to turn over and try and beat into Navorse. But he has level 6, so the Shadowland's protecting him for the moment. The cogs trying to push Navorse down, and he will drop. The Shadow Fiend will get the pickup. It is a 2-for-2 trade-off. Dendy also trying to come into play here. The Razor's coming off cooldown in just a moment, but the Shadow Fiend, okay, he needed Denny to turn like that. Okay, blows the medium raise. So that's not going to help his case. We'll send the courier back with no movement speed, because it has an empty bottle on it. But losing the Chen then's actually quite bad, because the Chen's at level 4. So he's worth a decent amount of experience. Not the greatest as far as the net worth goes, because he owns nothing. Now he owns something because the courier's going to deliver it in, but still. Not the best position as far as the Chen goes. We got Rockers doing scouting. Looking for stacks. More than anything else. One thing which that Clockwork was severely missing was a hook shot. Because HellRaisers want the ability just to jump in, get the pickup, and then get the hell back out again. They don't have innate abilities like Pounce from Slark, which gives you not as great jump as a hook shot, obviously, but it's the distance from the early levels, which is great. And you can see his burst damage going to work when both Skywrath and Chen get caught next to each other. Gold Black, there's a concussive shot, raises, and Norb to get the kill. That means they also get to secure the rune. This one should go to the Clockwork. Send that bottle back on the courier for the Shadow Fiend. He's already back at full, and Clockwork's the one who's getting himself in more perils. Way! That one's off target.
Radiant's top tower.
They're staying in closer, but no. There's an observer ward right here. He's not thinking anything apart from I missed that hook. SF again playing with Dendy. 2 raises and Dendy loses a huge amount of life points. 3 raises won't kill him though. As you can see, he still had enough life points to survive one last raise. So the laser with 100% miss chance means that Dendy can escape. with the Shadow Fiend in its current state. But the Shadow Fiend also pumps out a crap ton of damage. So if he can just get 1 or 2 hits before he goes for the Razors, then he's fine as well. Top tier 1 towers dropped down in the meantime as well, as I keep on saying that too many times. Artists with Soul Ring, so it looks like we're just going in for a straight Bloodstone. Get these kills, move on, keep the regeneration up nice. The Orchid isn't really as effective. If he's going to chase down Dendi, he needs a mana pool and a good regeneration to boot. As well as up against the Slark, the Orc is not effective. Up against the Batrider, not effective. So why waste the money on it? The bigger priority is in fact going to get into that Scythe of Vice as early as he possibly can. And I take that back now because he has an Oblivion Staff on him. Who the hell is he going to try and kill? I suppose you stop the Tinker from casting anything when you do jump, but you got Static Remnants and Vortex and mana for that kind of stuff. Divorced? Cogs. He just stands right in front of it. Burns his own mana. But that was one of the most head-hitting wall kind of moments. Nice Fissure, nice jump in, and Tinker comes in to say hello. BT Soul Ring model, 10 minutes in for Dendi. With 5200 CS. 5200 net worth, sorry. Yeah, that many CS would be crazy. Phobos, Clockwork. Hit it this time. Oh, he misses. Phobos dodges. HellRaisers, they're not finding their marks at all. And Divorced, he did get greedy. He built the hand of Midas anyway. So he went Treads, Midas. Believing now that because Dendi's got his BTs up and running, that's going to make enough space for him. And while that will make a lot of space, you have to remember the Tinker is kind of like a sponge. He absorbs so much of the farm on every single lane, but doesn't do it efficiently. Because he doesn't get the experience for it. Because most of the time he's like 1 wave, 2 waves of March to the machines, then TP back, go to another lane, and you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. It's kind of the way, it actually works very different to Meepo, but has the same effect on his teammates as Meepo does. When Meepo pushes, he gets the experience because all the Meepos are there. And he takes all the gold as well if he can get the last hits. But the rest of his team can't get anywhere near. Okay, yeah, well, cancelled. Troll Trap, Vanscore's dead. Clockwork, cog it up. He's going to actually find the Batrider, burning him twice. There's a hookshot off cooldown in 1 second time. He can do this point blank range on a Phobos, and now should be able to get the pick off here until the last super. The battery assault, he's not getting close enough for it. Now he will. This is the last moment. It's a 3-for-1 trade-off. The March Machines will be forcing HellRaisers back a little bit. It's only Slark and Tinker who are the ones able to survive. But back to what I was saying, it's the Tinker who just pushes all the lanes out. So the supports can't really find much. You already got a 1.4k and a 1.1k support of net worth. That's not that brilliant. If they get involved in fights, then maybe they can come up a little bit more, being involved in these kills, sharing in the bounty. Hey, that'll be nice. But it's not the result you're really searching for. You want them to be able to have safety farming underneath the tier 1 tower, but that doesn't exist when the creep waves are pushing out, and when the push does come back from HellRaisers, they push as a full squad, just like they did then. So their team fight's really strong. They take out a tier 1 tower as well, which means the map control is even more restricted. Supports get even more scared moving past these tier 2 towers.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And with HellRaisers having an Aegis Immortal, more than likely into the hands of the Storm Spirit, now that he's got not the full Orchid, it's just the second Oblivion Staff coming in. But he's still going to get over-aggressive. Kill off wherever he possibly can. The mech's over on the Shadow Fiend because HellRaisers realize the timing for this. They want to be able to force the high ground. And the SF is the one who can get it a lot faster. So he just have to go for this Yule Scepter build, and it frees up Chen to potentially get into something like an... I don't know if he really wants to have an Aghanim Scepter or not. So I'm trying to think exactly, because I thought it would be a great idea because it frees up an item, maybe like Pipe or something. Actually, that would be better. In fact, Pipe would be a lot better. You are still going up against this Tinker. Dendi, the jump from Artis, burning a hell of a lot of mana to get up there. And the Clockwork also taking considerable amounts of damage. He needed the Tinker to get a Vortex or a Troll Trap like this. So then you can hook yourself in, but Vanscore's already dead, so there's no point hooking in for that. Shen even dropping his own nukes, and the mech charge gives Elia points back very quickly. You still got a level 1 hand of God available too.
Dire's top tower is
It's just
under
unusual
attack.
for a Chen, but
Radiant's middle
because if
tower
you're also
is
going to
under
build a
attack.
pipe, you could have had the casual headdress for that.
Structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under
This
attack.
mid tower's not going to survive.
Radiant's middle tower is
Phobos
under
doesn't have his
attack.
blink dagger, so he can't do anything about it. There's that systematic push I was talking about from HellRaisers before Na'Vi is really ready to deal with it.
Dire's top
Now, I'm
tower
so just
is
going to
under
double check
attack.
just to make sure I'm not tripping balls. Yeah, headdress. Boom. So you could have already had that over on the Chen, and it is going to be the pipe, so I'm right. He is building into a pipe. But he's buying the more expensive part of it right now, which is the Hood of Defiance. What the heck? Okay, I'm double guessing myself all the time. Dread. Whoa, hey! He survived a long time. Clockwork. Easy. Easy. Wait, easy. Visual connect, but either way. That's a solid kill for the Clockwork. I'm perfectly alright with that trade-off. The Skywrath Mage is already way too rich for his own good. With a VIP booster, that's what flew in on the Courier. But the fact that Clockwork is now just a couple of 100 gold away from having... Oh, wow. Yeah. It's a trap, Dendy. And he knows it's a trap. He's not going in for this. Yeah, but he's very, very close to getting the Blade Mail. And Blade Mail is death to the Tinker. It's almost worthwhile as well for someone like the Skywrath Mage to pick up Blade Mail. It looks like he's going for a Rod of Owie. But having both the Nulls as well as the Vit Booster, he could go in for a Blade Mail and just screw with the Tinker so hard. Because the Tinker would just start killing himself. Most Tinkers build this way with like the Glass Cannon, the BTs, the Soul Ring, the Bottle, the Blink Dagger. No really survivability. If you got the Lincoln Sphere up and running, then you're kind of feeling a little bit safer because then you can't be initiated on, but you can anyway because that's the reason why Clockwork is so damn good. The hook shot is going to hold you in position. The Storm Spirit's Orchid won't be able to do its job, but once you take the damage, you can't blink yourself away. And you could attempt to, you could buy a 4-staff. But I'm fairly certain that Dendy is trying to build for a little bit more later game than that. He wants to have stronger controls. HellRaisers moving quickly. Phobos, there's your Storm jumping up. He got the Orchid over on Phobos. The Clockwork missing the hookshot, but Chen's at least going to be here. So the Battle Rider will drop. The initiation onto the Shadow Fiend, which has been prepared by Na'Vi, all falls apart. And we go 10-8 on the board. The experience well ahead for HellRaisers. The net worth as well. They haven't lost a single tier 1 tower, and they've taken 3 of the damn things. Not to mention the big man who's still currently dead. And Storm Spirit, who's really just begging to try and find these kills anywhere he can go. He wants someone to crazily be out of position. As I look over towards Force, he's the closest one to them. And this position would allow for a kill if you had something like an Invis Rune. Wait for the Dark Pack to go. Then, Orchid. But you kind of need that Dark Pack to be triggered invisibly for yourself. And before he could then pop the Shadow Dance.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright, so we've got a split push going on. Tier 2 tower on the top lane.
Radiant's
SF with all the
middle
damage in the
tower
world
is
can
under
take it.
attack.
Artis has a catapult behind him, so there's still some level of damage being done to the tier 2. This is worth a little jump down just to mop up the creep wave. There's Dendy. Well, he's going to TP himself in, but it's a trap with the way that he was moving then. He wanted Dendy to feel confident enough that he could go up to the high ground with Clock sitting there and 3 heroes pushing at the top. But the timing just came a little bit late. That's why Denny blinked back, because the tier 2 tower had already dropped. So there was no more control, like that. There was no more safety thinking he could get a pick and then get back out again. The Storm Spirit just lost the Aegis the Immortal, so we got the regeneration. Back up to full life and mana. But he was already pretty close to it anyway. Got nice things coming out the Courier. The full pipe for goddamn. Which is all just building in now for HellRaisers to breach high ground. With the pipe and the mech on the SF and the Chen, they're just able to force into the high ground. Dread's got enough life points that he can also survive when they go for the initiation. A Rod of Atos going pretty much screw around with the Bat Rider more than anybody else. Because Phobos has been picked off twice already, and he's had no control over his own jungle. So because of this, there's no 4-staff available. This Rod of Atos is really, really effective. And Dread only needs another 200 gold for it. He's obviously also able to get his intelligence up, so the intelligence damage multiplier, 1.6. You add 2 Staff of Wizardries onto this thing. Yeah. It's going to be very smart Archangel. Because I have to say smart Archangel. Smarf! Oh, I need to watch Pinky in the Brain again. Quality show. Invis from SF. The caster shot just flies away with Phobos, but he blinks and disjoints it. But with the positioning of SF, he sees them all moving in. Tinker with the TP as well. SF, he can't help out the Skywrath Mage. He was already pretty much locked. So I had to let him die. Well, they are right on top of Van score. 2 quick raises, 3 hits. You might have to actually have to have that. You might have to have that penitence cast, but apart from that, you're fine. What a nice little room for a Clockwork to take. It's not as though he's trying to track him down every single time, but now he's been given a haste rune as well. Too easy. HellRaisers will look to take out that tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, and then come back for Roshan. Establish control over the Radiant jungle. Actually seeing now the box being drawn up by Dendy. He's saying, check out our jungle. That's going to be where most of them should be. And Avor's trying to capitalize on this. Looking up towards that top tier 1 tower. Shadow Fiend will end up just denying it. But look for wards, and I want to see roughly about here. And another one, in fact, a little bit deeper. Like, you can throw it up on top of the cliff top, but more importantly, you want to see the exits coming out from the mid, as well as the bottom. The Tinker will go wherever the hell he wants. You could also throw a ward up on top, well, yeah, you know, up here. Yeah, that'll work, but you've already taken out the tier 2 tower there, so then he can't do much with that. There are some positions on the wall that you can use. But they're nowhere near as good as this kind of area. As well as this kind of area. Not much really compares to that. As far as cliff vision. But HellRaisers, here comes your push. To the tier 2 tower. Denny will try and do the counter push as quick as possible. I said before too that he wants to get into that Scythe of Ice. I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, I meant to say it. He's looking for his late game build. So it's all about the control for him. Same for the Storm Spirit, but Storm Spirit's now going in for the Bloodstone. And they just screwed up the Observer Ward. That Observer Ward was meant to get up on top of the cliffside. Maybe he'll scout out Dandy if he jumps in, but chance is low. So they just trigger the pipe. So no Martial Machines are going to stop him. And, okay. I think they saw a tree go down. We've got quite a deep path cut here. So this path comes all the way up. Like, literally, it's the boat to freedom. Bit of a mid-mast. And Roshan's up. So everything going according to plan for HellRaisers. Even with a DD rune for the Shadow Fiends. They're going to rip apart Roshan. If they lose their tier 2 tower on top lane, it doesn't matter. Avorst will take it. Sure, he's going to get a little bit more money. But they're going to have an Aegis Immortal into the hands of either the Storm Spirit or the SF. Right now, I'd actually probably prefer to see it go into the hands of the Shadow Fiends. Just because I think the Storm Spirit's already got enough. But the Storm's in close. He's dropping his TP scroll. So he's going to take it himself. But HellRaisers are about winning this game. And winning this game before the Tinker is able to play the split push. He's trying, but there's one thing Tinker cannot do, and that's damage directly into buildings. And that's something this SF is really good at right now. Obviously, the double damage is making him looking a lot stronger than he really is. But the pick ults are there from HellRaiser, and that will allow him to also go up to high ground. That's also another reason why Dandy's going to be very defensive, trying to push in. And he really doesn't want to go anywhere past this line. The second he does, he puts himself in risk of like a Clockwork sitting up high, or a Storm Spirit jumping in from massive amounts of range. That's the problems which could come his way. And he doesn't see the clockwork. This is the vision right now on the Radiant side. They are blind as bats. See the Shadow Fiend, they see the pipe up. And Daddy's going to come back to mid lane to defend. But while he doesn't see the clockwork, he has to be careful. It's also interesting to see how much money this clockwork is banking. With 3,000 in the bank, the Aghanim Scepter is what I'd assume he would have. That way he's always got the hook shot to catch out the Tink or whoever whenever he needs it. Not to mention the stats are quite nice. But with 3,000 gold, he really could just build anything. It doesn't make sense not to spend the money because you buy a point booster and you buy an Ogre Club. That's good life points for now, and then you finish the job later. So do we get point booster? That's what Goric is here for, isn't it? Yeah, it's a point booster. He's going Aghanim Scepter. And the Bloodstone's going to be completed up by the Storm Spirit. Wait, what's he waiting for? Oh, he's waiting for the double. He's not waiting for a double rune. He's just... Alright, he's going to trigger the regen now. But there's nothing for him to jump onto with that regen rune. Alright, so there's your Bloodstone done.
Do it with flair.
Zip zap.
But with no opening, HellRaisers can't make the most of anything at the moment. They just need to keep the lanes pressured in. They know they're going to get forced out with, like, Phobos up on this top lane as the Batrider. He's the man doing the pushing with the Blink and 4-star. He's got a lot better chance of escaping if they initiate on him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So, HellRaisers. They can't keep sitting around here forever. Mystic Flare damage, Phobos won't die to this. But we do get ourselves a little lob. It's gonna disjoint, but it's just nice watching the birds fly. I can't zoom in any further, and I can't, it's not a targetable thing. But this, at this point of the game, this is the most entertaining thing you're probably gonna find on the map. Nope, it's actually following him.
Take that.
It's not giving up. It's not giving up. It's a homing pigeon. Multiple versions of them, just so they don't get lost. And Phobos. Boom. No disjoint. It's like, wait, what? What did I get hit by? Even twitched, like he was like, I don't understand how I just got hit. So this is all HellRaisers can do. This is what they're forced to do right now. Hide in the trees, wait for Dendy to TP. Kill off Dendy, breach high ground. That's what they have to look at. Unfortunately, Dendy's always going to have enough money to have a buyback. And here comes that TP to bottom lane. But he's not coming anywhere near this creep wave. This is what the Radiant side sees. Now, we keep seeing that little flash of lightning. But they don't. That's just the way this spectator bugs out a little bit. And Denny finally shows himself. But he's got so much support. And Artis knows it's a trap.
Where's the party?
Aegis the Immortal or no Aegis the Immortal. He knows things are wrong. The Artis have no... Well, okay, they do have some level of vision. Wait, hang on. I'm on dire vision. Where is that? Is there a ward here? Is this a bug? I must put a ward on the cliff. Like, there must be one up here somewhere. Ah, there it is. There it is! I knew it! But track it down eventually. And how high up did he have to go for that one? Like it's in a crevice. Well, meanwhile, middle lane. Echo Slam coming in from Gold Black. I'll do a lot of damage over towards the clockwork, but the SF winds up the ultimate. So Gold Black will drop. And with the BKB up here from Afo, he just moves in. The pounce up from before, so they do have the Hexo from the Shadow Fiend, and there's no way to protect him. The Clogs tries to push him back, but Storm Spirit just goes in deep. The Slark's on the sidelines. But you've lost your Shadow Fiend, not going to push, your Clockwork's too injured. They'll be happy with the battle. Still a 3-for-1 trade-off. You do lose your SF. And he also did burn his 10-second BKB. That wasn't the greatest fight for Na'Vi either. They fought from inside their base. They didn't have buybacks on their two cores, so Tika and Slark They hold on to the money. Obviously, Slark still died. But the Tinker is moving forward in the world.
Double damage.
Clockwork. He doesn't have hook shot. He starts the battery assault. Storm jumps once. Storm jumps twice. Phobos being dragged back in. There's no rocket, but... Okay, yeah, Artis doesn't even need help. 10 Bloodstone charge. It's up again. With a 1-0-3 now on this Storm Spirit. Yeah, he's not really getting involved in much. Dread, trouble. Goddamn was hoping to send him back. Hope is a beautiful thing that is not granted to him. So he'll TP himself back instead. Should flag the fact that Aghanim Scepter for the Chen. Now 700 gold away. And because he's not having to use all that mana for popping mechs during fights, he should have a large amount of mana to throw out. So you're always going to have that Aghanim Scepter every 30 seconds to use. Hand of God's obviously bloody expensive. But, yeah. 400 mana and you got a mana pool of over 1200 once the Aghanims is done. You're okay with that. And if all things get really bad, I suppose Storm Spirit could just buy BTs, trigger his Bloodstone, kill himself, give all your mana and life points back, and go again. Not all of it. Just a nice regen. There's that Aghanim's finally for the Clockwork. As HellRaisers wait for the next Roshan. They'll have to use both Aegis and Cheese to try and breach high ground this time around. You got an Invis Rune as well for the Chen. So he's watching a Vorst run away. It's the army that's watching him. That's the reason why his Shadow Dance does go down. At least that's what a Vorst can assume. Very deep for just one sentry. There's no observers up there, and they can see it now. This observer ward scouts out. Okay, now it's gone. They're just trying to blind up Na'Vi. Notice too the choke points. So you basically take out this choke point. So you're looking for the wards which go here, here, or here. This watches basically the intersection of the Radiant jungle. While this one, if it was there, would be able to scout out HellRaisers if they were trying to find jump positions here, or potentially over here and here. And also here, here, and here. So basically, bleh, all that. Follow the scribble, understand the game. And that's a big stack to be farmed up. Dread's loving it though. And they even come in to steal these last hits away from him. Drag the creep wave up. Little creep camp up. Now they're good. I say, well, what am I saying? It's all the goddamn creeps. Wow. Na'Vi also managed to get that stack. I'll be surprised if they're able to achieve that, and they didn't. All they managed to achieve was the fact that it was a Chen army. Artis now scouts out Roshan, so third one, they bring the crew. This is the last thing HellRaisers need to breach high ground, and they want to do it now. They're not being pressured fast enough by Na'Vi. They cannot split push at that very quick rate. Even if Dendi does want to do something which will enable the push a little bit more, like something like a Shiva's Guard, so you get the burst from the Shiva's Guard as well as the March of the Machines. That would be one way to do it. But, eh. You'd have to spend too much money, then he wouldn't have buyback available, and life would just become very difficult. So, Aegis and Cheese into the hands of HellRaisers. Find a window. Tier 3 tower on bottom. They've all got practically the same life. It doesn't matter which one they come down. They'll probably prefer to go for the mid. The off lanes are always nice, but it's just being so close towards the top. So if you do need to move back, you can do so. That's that Aghanim Scepter for the Chen. Grab yourself a Black Dragon, or grab yourself a kill. Vengeful Spirit.
Your storm was coming.
Could have been potentially de-warding with that sentry ward. Looks like up on top lane, Clockwork. Took shots off cooldown in 5 seconds time. All you need to do is keep vision over on Phobos. Natus coming over. They want to have the big man advantage. And the Observe ward up on the high ground. The die one with 22 seconds left. Hookshot can't reach. It's just not big enough. But the Battle Rider's going to drop. He buys the BKB recipe. He may be regretting that. He's short by 70 gold for his buyback. That's an opening with the Batrider down. HellRaisers won't be aware of this, however. They'll probably still think that the Batrider's got more cash than what he's showing. But he doesn't. But HellRaisers aren't moving into a position where they can really capitalize on the situation. Alright, how's the Vorst looking? With the Suns, the BKB. He's not really that big fighter you're expecting. Ah, now, there we go. I was wondering where his extra money was, so that, oh no.
Radiant's courier has been
Not your shot! Not your shot! The 6th player of Na'Vi will die. Oh, Vorst. He had the Skadi too. He just needed the point booster from the secret shop. This one was closer for him. This one's pretty still exposed. Just because HellRaiser controlled the map, but he set it up so obviously past the Ancients that it was too easy for the pickoff, and now who's got buyback? Not a Vorst. He's short by 138 gold and doesn't even have the bigger item to show for it. Oh, it's been a night of catastrophes. Nothing but catastrophes. So HellRaisers, a gift horse. 2 minutes to make the most out of it with that Aegis Immortal. Goddamn, Phobos just wants to jump on him. There's more support from the SF around the corner, but he can't get there in time. So we can hand a gob this, but looks like there is still enough damage from a Vorst to get the kill. So Chen's down for the count. And now it's only really a 1 minute window. The Chen army wasn't so lucky. One troll escaped from the death of its master. This allows Denny space to do split push. But you've still got a very farmed up Storm Spirit. Bloodstone, BKB, Orchid, 36 minutes in. I'm expecting him to have a little bit more than that for 303 and 200 CS. But at the same time, he is still fairly high up in the net worth. Number 1 belongs to the Shadow Fiend, Mr. Aegis himself. Well, they found an opening. It's the Batrider. They need a stun. Hookshot's on cooldown. And the Batrider finishes his BKB now too. So he doesn't regret purchasing the BKB before because he's able to finish it up, and no advantage was gained from his own death. He just saved the money instead of having it as, you know, it is the reliable gold instead of unreliable gold. My brain's been turning on and off all night, just like the Valve servers. It's never easy to keep your focus, and you have to stop every 2 minutes. Alright, so HellRaisers built all these items so they can go high ground nice and early. They also built it so that Chen could get the pipe, SF got the mech, so they go up into the base of Na'Vi. What has to happen for this to work is a pickoff. Now they found 2 of these, but they were unable to capitalize on it because the creep waves were already forced out a very long way. Chen's army can't do the pushing he's really searching for. But he's going to hand a god to keep his creepers alive. Dragging back a very short way anyway. That's just in case the Force kept going on that Dark Troll Summoner. But Phobos to move up. Hand of God's on cooldown. Clockwork. Rockets to get the vision. And now they can jump. So the Storm Spirit comes in. Batrider triggers the BKB already, but the primary target is Dendy. They need him down. They have to stop the split push. The Hex on the Clockwork. And Dendy, he's out! Dread couldn't help him out. They may still find, yeah, they will still find Vanskor in the tree line. But Denny should be counting his lucky stars. He's still alive right then. And finally, Havorst. Oh wait, Havorst. Okay, yeah. He's got it. The Skadi is on him. And he has another 3.1k gold as well. Havorst actually battling up against the SF in mid. He's still got mech and a crap ton of damage. Havorst will kill off the tower. He does have Shadow Dance as well. Danny, Batrider gonna jump in. There's no lasso available, so Storm Spirit tries to make the most out of this one. The BKB, Shadow Fiend winds up the Requiem of Souls. Havorst protected by his BKB, but the physical damage, SF needs more space here. trying to use that Scully to its advantage, cannot really do so, and Avorst with the Dark Pact, he's able to carry his team here in the mid lane, and Batrider, well, maybe be a casualty of war, but Dread will also be exactly that. Avorst missing the pounce, the hook shot will come in, Avorst now with no BKB, no Shadow Dance, he's going to give away his spree, the Clockwork will take him out. Goldblack will TP himself away to safety, the SF's down for the count, but Avorst's on the sidelines now for 90 seconds, he has a buyback available. So does the Batrider. Sorry, I take that back. No, he doesn't. But it means we can have a 4-on-4 engagement. There's no SF. Even if there is, he wouldn't have souls for it. But there's the Storm Spirit. So, HellRaisers, if they don't just try and force the tower, like just, yeah, pipe time it. You have the Ancient Granite Golem as well, so there's a little bit more life points in this creep wave. It's still not enough to deal with 2 waves of Master Machines. But all Storm's looking for, now with this aggressive Observer Ward up, is a jump in, kill, jump out. That's his goal. They need to have the advantage going their way. He has the BKB as well, so the second he realizes that Dandy could go for the Hex, he triggers that one up, or has support coming from the Clockwork. And that'll then buy the time for the Storm to get back up on his feet. The Clockwork hits the hook, then he gets stunned, Battery Assault has to deal with the Clockwork, and Storm Spirit just outlast the Hex. So they're not going to find an opening. We're back into that point too when Roshan's going to spawn. So we're looking for number 4 of Roshan. And how quick is it? It's almost like this game wants HellRaisers to win. A very, very quick respawn into Roshan. If HellRaisers discover this straight away, in fact, they really should throw someone else back down to there. Static Remnant, a jump over by Storm Spirit, he's got mana. Scout out Roshan, he's up already. They could have actually killed Roshan off very quickly before the Slark could get over there. But they're not going to. SF's trying to build his soul bank up again. He's actually succeeded. 36 souls already in. Clockwork. Yeah, you can solo that one. The Observer Ward that's sitting in the lane is giving him the vision to do that kind of hook. But he doesn't know what's behind him. Hence, no jump. Artist. Defending the last tier 1 tower that's standing. Send a skeleton minion. Okay, now they throw a remnant out. Roshan's up, they know it. The Storm is the one massively peeing it. Clockwork's gonna... Alright, he's gonna hook into Roshan. That's one way to get in. And this Radiant Observer Ward, it doesn't see anything. It's in a very protected position because they know there's a gem over on the Storm Spirit. So they're putting it in a position where it won't get easily dewarded. Unfortunately, that means it's so shallow, it doesn't scout HellRaisers going in for Roshan. Even if it did, Na'Vi can't fight it. Okay, so we get Aegis the Maul into the Shadow Fiend. Correct decision. Because the Storm Spirit is just one of these heroes that he can keep zipping himself around. So the permanent lockdown won't work on him. And he'll have time to get the cheese. Where the Shadow Fiend, like, there's no escape mechanism apart from BKB and Manta. And that's not really enough. Alright, so. Top lane, 4 heroes are up there. Bottom lane's not really pushed in enough, but the SF Illusion is doing the job. Skywrath Mage buying up a Shadow Blade. That's a new one. But it will let him catch out the Slark. Just run in, get the instant seal, Concussive Orb. Go for it. Slark can't kill him directly because the Ghost is just there. And this is one of these times when the Slark will not be buying a Diffusal Blade, unlike what Avorst did to deal with the Diffusal Blade before. Which were, to deal with the Ghost Scepter before, which was to buy a Diffusal Blade over on a Juggernaut. Extra control. But no jump in. Now, this SF is literally the walking fortress for HR. Not because of its life points, it's just because he, like, you're not building up a tank. You don't always have to have a tanky fortress. He's got an arsenal in different ways. Is Na'Vi considering a jump? Phobos could. He's got Vanskor with him, but he'll need more help. He could potentially put the Shadow Fiend up on the cliff, and look at the jump out by the Storm. He doesn't see Vanskor, but he'll definitely battle up against his Batrider. The last two will go, and there's no TP available. Well, you can't TP out this one. Because now you've also got the Skywrath Mage catching him out. No BKB, but he gets killed off by the neutrals at least. But Dendy drops 71 seconds on the sideline, and buyback is available for only one of these heroes. Batrider does not have buyback. But with no Dendy for the moment, the pressure is relieved, which means now all the creep waves push in. One more pick off here from HR. In fact, they just buy back Dendy already. They don't want these creep waves pushing in anywhere near him. And Dendy jumps out to go onto the Shadow Fiend, but Storm jumps in. That's a big one if he can claim it. Remember, actually, he's got Aegis. Oh no, he does. He's got the cheese. And he never got it off, so the gem's just sitting on the deck. The Vengeful Spirit can pick that one up, but they're going to smoke because they want to catch up to the other heroes. But do you really think you can breach into the Aegis? Of course! Just pounce on top of the Chen. He's got no Hand of God. He tried to use it before to save his teammates. So they can keep battling this one up. Vorse has the entire Radiant Creep Wave coming in too, backed up because he saw the Requiem Souls being wound up. The blink up. And then a hook shot in, and Vorse be pushed back down again. He doesn't care. He's now got enough for his Abyssal Blade. Dendy's disables were there at the right time, and it makes Dendy's buyback worthwhile. Oh, Phobos. Lasso, now to catch out the clockwork. Storm Spirit back in. Bat Rider almost down. BKB, he's protected for the moment, but the hook shot in. They were able to bring him down, both the Slark as well as the Bat Rider on the sideline. Vorse thought, YOLO, get back him. But he'll have to buy back now if they go to defend mid-racks. The March machines can go to work, but there's no backdoor regeneration. And HR are still sitting there with Aegis, Immortal, and Cheese. Because they had their buyback. Actually, no, they didn't on the Storm. He just had Bloodstone charges, so it was practically a buyback without the money expenditure. God Black dead. VS swapping him down, but Artist then just goes to the next target. Maybe not enough. Hand of God goes to work. Dread, not enough mana for a Mystic Flare. That Shadow Blade, quite an expensive thing to keep using. Hook shot him. Well, he had his own creep. But the mid-racks is gone. So they accept the casualty. And HR, well, they still have the Aegis, the Immortal. So they're gonna try and battle this one out. Storm Spirit, a little bit out of position. The Fidge is gonna go as Gold Black jumps in nicely. No Echo Slam, but able to get the Triple Man stun, and then the Cogs. They try and control him. And it's gonna be the Clockwork getting beaten the crap out of by a Vorse. Denny is safe up on the high ground. And can start the March of the Machines again in a moment when he can get his mana back up again. But HellRaisers with no Storm, no Clockwork, they've lost their jump in. They have to bail out of here. And that's why Phobos is on the hunt. 4-staff up, he can lasso. The pipe will go, and the Shadow Fiend. By actually getting the first attacks in with the Skadi, Phobos couldn't drag him back because he used the 4-staff to get in close. So the Bat Rider gives away his life. Very expensive though for this hold from Na'Vi. They lose their mid-racks. They buy back on 3 heroes in the course of the last 2 to 3 minutes. And HellRaisers will just wait for the next Roshan. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're about 1 minute and a half through the extra 3 minutes. So we can count it up to basically saying 51 minutes the next Roshan will appear. That's still a long time to wait. It's a good window for Na'Vi too, but when the clock works back up again, you'll start hunting again with the Storm Spirit. He's got 8 Bloodstone charges, so not as brilliant as it was before, but you already saw the effect of the Bloodstone charges. The Storm Spirit comes back up. I honestly thought he must have respawned almost instantly. Too busy following the fight to actually check out the timing. But it was practically dead for no time. It was just the traveling from one side of the map to the other. Shadow Fiend with Invis. He's hoping, what again, that Denny will come out. With the side of the Vines, he can initiate from inside the trees, but at the same time, he wants to be pushing this wave out as quick as he possibly can. The Storm Spirit's here as well, but it just looks too much like bait. And Denny is not going to fall from that. He's not going to fall for that at all. Practicing his own Bloodstone now. Bloodstone, level 2 Dagon. He has the bottle back in his stash, so he just switches in and out when he gets back to base.
And it's up.
But it means at least that Dandy is able to have a shorter death timer. It's good for him now when his buyback's on cooldown. I'm not going to say he's going to help out his teammates by suiciding. But it also lets him stay on the field a little bit longer. Regeneration kicks up if he can find a couple of pickoffs. He doesn't always just have to go back after 3-4 waves of March of the Machines now. He can go back after 6, 7. That's only if he's got the charges, of course. Centaur? Chen? What are you doing, man? Gonna hand a god that one? Or did he actually wanted to die? He must be picking up Ancients. Yeah, he's picking up the Ancient Granite Golem. He's only got 3 creeps, right? No, he's got a 4th one. He's got another Centaur. So we've got 2 Trolls, a Centaur, and a Granite Golem. Bottom lane. Welcome, Phobos, to death again. He lassoed him at the last moment, too. That's actually a bit of a mistake. Not just getting caught out, and then caught out again, and then also throwing out your Echo Slam. Gold Black, yo, what? That didn't go too well. The Echo Slam on the way in, but I don't think he had any effect. Horse getting massively, just getting pummeled here. He's got no dance anymore. He can't get away. The orbs are flying after him with the attack from the SF. It's a triple kill. Him for Afo, and it's GG. Phobos brought back him, but he had no Lancer because he used on the bottom. It's an ultra kill. GG it. There's no way for Na'Vi to win this game anymore. They've been pummeled into the ground. It's 100 seconds without a Slark. No one has buyback from Na'Vi. And it has been an absolutely disastrous night for them. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Positioning has been rough, to say the very, very least. And HR, while they haven't fully capitalized on these moments, they have been able to take the victory. They stayed solid enough that Na'Vi will lose 0-4 tonight. I don't know how many rares were lost. Na'Vi were the favorites to win in both of their matchups this evening, as far as the betting goes on multiple sites, including our own. And this time around, well, congratulations, HellRaisers, 2-0. They'll keep themselves up at the top of the D2CL. In fact, they level themselves up with Team Empire. The 2 opponents for Na'Vi tonight, they go number 1 drawn. So congratulations, the VODs will be uploaded in just a couple of moments. YouTube.com/join Dota. You can catch out all of the D2CL VODs that are over there. You can follow myself at Toby1Dota on Facebook as well as Twitter. And you can watch all the action. We're back tomorrow at 18 CET for another match from the D2CL. And we have more action coming out with the ESL coverage as well, which is still live. Go check it out, joindota.com. The ESL match with Cap. He's doing Tinker versus Elysium. I believe they're actually going into a 3rd game right now. I'll host it right here on the Join Dota Red stream, so if you want to stay here in the chat, I'll do the quick host thing so you can go check out the match as well. But if you want to find it, it's twitch.tv/ESL_Join Dota Red. You can find the live stream right there. So go over, go check it out, enjoy the action. Hope you enjoyed tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.